Hi everyone, it's Nicole and I'm here with another layout and we're going to jump right in because the night before I finished a layout and I wasn't ready to go to bed and my battery was dead. So then I thought, well, I'll do another layout using hexagons. So I took the 10 minutes it took to cut down the paper to size, which I should have cut down 2¼ by 2¼ but I was trying to save some paper and I did 2 by 2 and some of the hexagons are not perfect, so then I just use those hexagons to go for the ones that go off the page or down in the center so that it's not going to be seen. And the die that I use is from Sysex and it's a 2-inch hexagons number 2, and I just put it through my Cuttlebug and just cut a whole bunch. And again, I'm just going to do 2 strips, and I had done this in last month with the last kit and I had covered most of it up, so I said I was going to do it again, and this time I wasn't going to cover the hexagon so much. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut down a piece of cardstock to go right down the middle, and then that'll be it. Just a little bit of embellishment and the page will be done. So I'm just kind of lining up those hexagon. I'm using my ATG gun to glue them down because the ATG is a little bit more forgiving than the quick dry adhesive from Scotch, because that stuff, if you glue it down, it's glued down. Nothing forgiving about that stuff. I would have actually ripped the paper up if I tried to move it. So with my ATG gun, it gives me a little bit of leeway with, if I need to lift up the hexagons again and move them around, because you're trying to put so that 2 pattern papers aren't the same next to each other. Like you see right now, I have 2 of the chevrons paper right next to each other. Well, I'm going to notice here in a few minutes and I'm going to move that. But if that was glued down with quick dry adhesive, that would have been it. I would have been done. I would have ripped the pattern paper. So this is the 16th layout using this kit from Scraptastic, the February kit. It took me 1 hour and 20 minutes to complete, and that was including the 10 minutes to cut down my papers and then die cut the hexagons. And it's really quickly because those Sysex dies, you can put more than 1 pattern paper at a time. So my little squares that I had cut out, I could stack up 4, one on top of the other. And so basically I was cutting like 16 at a time. So it goes really quickly. I only had to go, through it maybe 3 or 4 times, and I was done cutting out the hexagons for the whole page. And I've done, if you go back, this is the 227th scrapbook process video since last February of 2013. So if you go back on my channel, you'll find, process video number 1. And in those 200, I've used hexagons quite a bit. So I'm just, every time I use them, I try to change it up a little bit. But last time, like I said, I found that I hid them too much, and especially this collection of pattern paper I really love. It's from Echo Park and it's the boy collection, and I really love the colors, and that would really work really well for a little boy page. The pictures I'm going to do on this layout is of tubing. About 1.5 hours from here, there is a place where you can go tubing, and you park your vehicle one place, and then they drive you to this B location, and then you rent your tubes. And you can even rent a tube for like we had a cooler with food and stuff for the kids, and then if you can see, when you see the pictures, there's a little cord there. Well, I could tie my son to me, to my tube, so that he wouldn't drift away. And also he had a life jacket on, so that if he did fall off the tube and the water was a little deep, then he was still good. And about halfway through, they have a barbecue, so you can stop and buy some hot dogs and hamburgers, and which we did. In our cooler, we basically had stuff for along the way, and then we always stopped at the barbecue place and and had lunch. Or it takes about 2 hours to go down the river, 2.5 hours, depending how fast the current is and how if the water's really low, then it takes longer because you keep getting stuck and you have to get up and move your tube. But we went one year and the water was super high and it took us about an hour and 45 minutes to go down. It was unbelievable. Like, it was just so fast. It was fun. It wasn't as long. So I cut down my photos to the size that I want. There was a little card that it came with the kit. It was actually a pattern paper from the boy collection that if you flipped it over, it was all 3x4 cards. So I cut it down to all 3x4 cards, and now I'm going to use one of those cards on this layout. And I'm going to put it right to the right of the layout, and then I cut down the pictures to size that would leave me room to put a title. And the title is just going to be Floating Down the River, and I'm going to use different fonts and different letter stickers. All of them are from October Afternoon, the Daily Flash collection. They are quickly becoming my favorite stickers. Like, there is so much variety and different colors, and I love that each package has like 2 alphas, like one on one side and one on the other, so you can use them together or separate. And now I'm going to use some blue ones also from the navy pack. I'm just going to play around with how it's going to sit on my layout, but I know it's going to be on the side of the photo like that. And I know with those square letters, they do take a little bit more room than if it was the letter just itself. So that's why I put the next to river, so that I would have that extra room to put floating. And I love using wax paper to kind of try out, where the title is going to go on my page, because if I would have had to move those stickers too much, then the stickiness goes away, which I end up doing anyway, because once I put it down on the page, I still have trouble getting to go exactly where I want it. And then I thought of making the letters so that they would go up and down, so it looks like you're floating down the river. And so I'm going to play with the letters for a little bit. And at first I thought I was going to use a doily on this page, but I found it was hiding the hexagons a little too much. So I'm going to end up just taking 3x4 cards and just making them a little smaller, which in hindsight, it was probably hiding just as much. But where it was my son and my husband in the picture, I just wanted it to make it a little bit more boyish, I guess. So I went through some of my Project Life cards, and there was one there that I really liked, but I only had one of. So I cut it 3/4 and 1/4, and then I have the Project Life Becky Higgins punch, and it's the same size as her cards. The corner rounder is the same size as her cards. So if you want to make your own cards to put in your Project Life, or in this case here, where I was cutting the card in half and wanted it to match with the other side, it just made it so much easier to get it to coordinate, to match, instead of having one side that looked like it was 1/4 of an inch and the other side 1/2 an inch, if that makes any sense. Now I'm just looking through some of the stuff that came in the kit, and also some more of the Project Life cards. I love using my Project Life cards as grounding spaces for my embellishment clusters, but also I love using them as embellishments on the page. There's a lot of them that I've cut out flags from them, tags, all kinds of stuff. And the funny thing is, I was watching Glitter Girl yesterday, and she did a page using Project Life cards, and she was doing that too. She was cutting things out of the Project Life cards. So there was one sticker that said just hanging out, and it was on the sticker sheet that came in the kit. So I'm going to put that on the layout. I'm sorry, I keep wanting to cough. I don't know why. So now I'm going to use my quick dry adhesive, and I'm going to glue down those cards. Now I'm going to use my huge foam tape, and it's Scotch 3M, and I got it at Custom Crops. Someone asked me again yesterday or the day before where I got that roll, and it was at Custom Crops. And those wood veneer hearts came in this month's kit. Although I think I would have used everything that came in the kit. I did buy the extra wood veneer, and so I'm thinking I'm probably in the extras right now. And I balled up some twine, and I'm going to put it, and on this layout I only have 2 clusters, and again, because those hexagons are so busy as a background, I just wanted to put 2 areas, and then where my journaling is going to be in my title, and that'll be it. So now I'm looking for some enamel dots, and those are some that I made myself. And if you haven't seen the video, just go back a few videos back, and it's called Make Your Own Enamel Dots, and it is using perler beads and pony beads, and it is awesome. Like, they look exactly like enamel dots, and look at the huge container I've made up to now, and I still have thousands left that I can melt. And so I won't be running out of enamel dots anytime soon, which yay, because I love using them. So I went through my little containers, and I found I wanted 3 different colors that matched the layout. So I got a navy, a white, and a red. And I'm just going to put it around the clusters. And I found on Etsy, they're called mini perler beads, and there's someone on that video that suggested that I go look on eBay. And I went, and the shipping was outrageous. So then I just Googled it, and I found some on Etsy, and I think they were only $3 for a bag, and I ordered 4 bags, and I think the shipping was like $6 for all 4 bags or something like that. It wasn't very much, while on eBay it was $6 for 1 bag. So I ordered 4 or 5 bags just to see what kind of size I'm going to get with those. I tried using a pill cutter. Some people suggested a pill cutter. I tried that and it didn't work, but I have a pair of scissors that are cutting those perler beads and have no issues. So all I did there was added some mist in blue and red, and now I'm going to show you some close-ups of all the few clusters that I have on this layout. Not too many clusters. So that's it. The page is done. So thanks for watching. Bye.